So, welcome back, folks. We are glad that I think, from what I understand, most of our groups are back. I think we may have one who's still having those deep conversations that you've been having, but I'm glad that folks have been able to join us. We're coming to the end of this part of our discussion time, and I would like to just take a moment to celebrate the work that you have done, to say thank you. Not only to you as commissioners and as invited guests and youth forum members who participated in those conversations, but thank you to the hosts and to the note takers who also did a great deal of work, and the staff who did amazing things to make sure that that all of those notes would be up in a way that commissioners and others would be able to see them and learn from each other in that process. I would like to thank too our interpreters, because they've done an amazing job in helping us to be able to speak in the languages that we need to speak in English and French and still be understood. And of course, to Alan and the business table for helping us to have this process of work. And you know me, worship is really important. And so all of the folks who have worked to bring all of this into life through scripture and through music and through prayer, just thank you to you all. So welcome back. And now I'm going to hand things over to Alan from Buckingham, from the business table, to continue this work.
Thank you, moderator, and I echo the thanks from the moderator to all of you, everybody who's participated in all the various ways. Thank you for all the work, and I hope that you feel that for the most part things went well. Sounds that way up until now, and I hope you feel that going forward. Message for the note takers amongst us. Please send Shirley Welch a message indicating that you are done with your notes, or send the file if you are not working in the online shared documents when you're done with the notes. Hopefully that is shortly. Please ensure that all the notes from each day are present in one document so that we can just take that one document and post it all for your discussion group, all the notes for your discussion group in one document so we can just post that up and get that up shortly. The facilitation team is eager to get going on their work and to have all of the notes. So here's what happens now. This has been the time for discussion. We know that there is never enough time, but this is the time that we've had. And as I've said before, it's actually more time than we had at GC43. The notes from the discussions are now going to be given over to the facilitation team, and I'm just going to share with you again who they are so you can remember. Let me get this up. So the facilitation team consists of Carmen Lansdowne, Marty Tyndall, so I'm supposed to go slower, Megan Chorney, Eric Lucas, and Hewitt Holmes, and you can find their little bios on gc44.ca, and I'm going to drop it right in the chat now as well, if you want a reminder of who the facilitation team is. So this group of respected church elders will now go through the notes to find the commonalities and the pearls of wisdom and determine where they feel the body is leaning in response to the work before it. Around June 28th, and I say around June 28th because we got people and we have technology and we got to sort it all out, but around June 28th, they will share their suggested ways forward with the council. This will not be in real time. We are not meeting again together for this to happen. There will be a written report and recorded videos that will be posted to FeedLoop, and we will send detailed instructions on how to find the stuff when it is ready. Don't worry. Their suggested way forward may be to implement all of the recommendations of a proposal. It may be to implement some of them. They might instead recommend something similar but new in response to a proposal, suggesting that the council take that different action instead. The facilitation team might group some stuff together and make a response to a whole little slew of things. It's also possible that they suggest the council take no further action on a proposal at this time, recognizing that the conversation that has happened is us dealing with and responding in some way to a proposal. After we have shared the suggested ways forward, there will be an opportunity to ask for questions for clarification within FeedLoop. Again, this will be explained when things are ready. You might be wondering why something was suggested or why it wasn't suggested based on what was said in your group or what you read in the notes from the other groups if you did so, and we'll do our best to get you the answers. When it comes to the decision sessions in July, we will be working from the suggested ways forward only. There will be a response of some sort to each of the proposals before the council, other than nomination 01, the appointments to the executive, which will be dealt with separately. All the rest of the proposals still before the council, there will be some sort of response in the suggested ways forward, and that's what we will be dealing with. When it comes time to make decisions, we have already had the conversations about the proposals that came before council, and the suggested ways forward reflect that conversation. We did not have one big conversation about anything. We had 21 conversations about pretty much everything. Those groups are where the discussion was had. When the facilitation team presents their suggested ways forward, the job becomes, did they capture the discussions? And from that, does their suggested way forward make sense? This is not the time to have the discussions all over again, either saying why we agree or disagree with the suggested ways forward. It's quite likely you won't agree with every suggested way forward, just as you wouldn't have if we'd had one big discussion as a group and voted on it. The questions for July will be, did the facilitation team capture the conversation and present a reasonable way forward based on that? This process was designed to let as many people contribute to the conversation as we can by using the small groups and collating those conversations as a reflection of what a larger conversation could have looked like. We use respected church elders in the process as we respect their wisdom and their ability to glean wisdom from what they read and reflect that back to us so that we know they heard us when they suggest their ways forward. We hope the council doesn't feel the need to have the conversations about each proposal all over again, but that we trust our conversations have been heard and that the will of the larger body is reflected in the reports and the suggested ways forward. It is, of course, up to the council to decide how it wishes to move forward. I'm merely sharing how the process that we have undertaken was designed to flow. I hope that it's reasonably clear. I am happy to answer questions between now and the discussion session or decision sessions starting either by email, feed loop message, phone, video chat, whatever. If you're in Banff, come, we'll go for a walk and talk about it. I will do my best to help everyone get a good understanding of the process before us. That's my job. I want the business to go well and I want everybody to understand and feel like it's going and it makes sense to them. So please be in touch if you have questions. I am happy to share them. It's what I have for now, moderator. Thank you, and I'm going to invite the General Secretary now to make an introduction.
Thanks, Alan, and thanks, friends. Moderator, over the last year or so, a number of folks within the life of the church has spent some time both as individual and within the context of the various communities that they have been a part of to discern whether God may be calling them at this particular time in the life of the church to serve in the role of moderator. Over since Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. when the nominations were closed for moderator, for the 44th moderator of the United Church of Canada, we have only had one nominee that is whose name has been put forward to us. Because of the manual, and also in addition to GS01, which was the procedural motion that was put before this council in February of this year, February 13th, 2022, we are still required to have an election of the moderator. So when on July 23rd, the council will be asked to elect the moderator, even though we only have one nominee. Our system does not allow us for an acclamation. It requires a vote to elect the moderator. So members of the commissioners of this 44th General Council, a notice that on the 23rd of July, you will be asked to cast a ballot to elect the 44th moderator of the United Church of Canada. So moderator, it's my pleasure to introduce the Reverend Dr. Carmen Lansdowne as the nominee for the 44th moderator of the United Church of Canada. So moderator, over the next few weeks, we will provide opportunities for the council to get to know Carmen. We'll provide some videos, some conversation with Carmen so that the council will have a better sense of her as they come to vote on the 23rd of July. So thank you, moderator.
Thank you very much, General Secretary. And we together are celebrating that we have our nominee and that we look forward to the discernment over the next month and the time for election and decision in July. It's exciting. It is truly exciting. As we have gathered over this time and in February, we have invited two of our honored elders to be present at different times throughout, actually through the entire gathering, but invited them if they have things that they wish to share with the council. So I'm going to turn to the elders to ask if they have words that they would like to share. Eleanor and Ray, if there is anything that you would like to offer in thoughts, in wisdom to the council at this time. We're just going to check and see if we can. Oh, there's Eleanor. Yeah, I can see you now. How are you doing, Eleanor? How are you feeling today?
I'm not that. I've been great, but I still have the infection, okay. And it's really draining. But I would like to say how much I appreciate these past 3 days. I didn't speak that much. However, I listened, and I can say I've learned a lot. That I learned things that I didn't. I mean, I got to see. My heart was directed in different places to focus on it, which I had not previously had the opportunity to do. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time, and I look forward to the July session. I'm just so sorry that Ray couldn't be here at this time. And I was gonna say, and I like that question, the theme of the GC44, and I think over time Jesus to me as is an elder. I thought about it a little more, an elder, and she or he or Jesus is part of the 7 teachings that I was brought up in, and he's also a medicine to our heart and soul. and 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 we when we start looking at the world or our surroundings through the lenses of if we can be boldly say it through Jesus's eyes, then we shouldn't have any fear. I went to bed. I left the sessions with lots of questions in my head, and I went to read the proposals again and again. That's what this session did for me, and I felt so part of the United Church world, or the group that I was in. And I what can I say? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening. And that's our, I find, I can't speak for all Indigenous people, but I know where I'm from, listening is the most important thing to do. And listening with your open heart and mind. And that's what I did. And I saw that my fellow commissioners were doing the same. I'm so glad for that. And I mitinen na nas ko man nas kagi siga kuma tigibis tibani. Igibisyo batamani ko itjuyan. Bigiska tigadik. Aganasi megamik. O that the skin of that. I speak Gumaski. Bataman Tagisi Minuche to Kiamata Pitus Dehansi Kimatsina Ebimbitia. Okay, I just briefly translate what I said. I said I am very thankful or grateful for having the opportunity to participate, and I see ways that we can journey together these 3 days in a good way, walking together. And even though we have different, we're all from a different, we seem to be from different, we walk in different paths, or but it's still, we're still going and our way to our. That's what I saw, that I see that we can work and walk together in this great church of ours nationally. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eleanor. And please know that as I saw popping up in the chat, that there are a number of us who are going to be praying for your health over the next little while. And we hope that infection clears up quickly. Thank you for your words this weekend and helping us to think about what it means for us to journey together in a good way. And it's not always easy for folks. And I will also be thanking Ray as well for his words that he shared with us over the last few days. He couldn't be with us this afternoon. So thank you both very, very much for the gifts that you have offered us as elders for this part of our gathering as well. And I'm going to turn, actually just before I do, just for those of us who are General Council Commissioners, I'd like to remember that that this coming Tuesday is National Indigenous Day here in Canada. And I'm hoping that we as members of the United Church of Canada, we as participants of this General Council, will be able to do some learning together, perhaps participate in something that's being offered by communities in our area for ways of understanding each other, if that's happening. But let's take that time to be able to do some more of the learning and connection that we need to be doing as people of this church and as people who live in this land and live in this place. And I would turn things over now to Alan Buckingham again for any announcements that might be needed.
Thank you, Moderator. Je vais inviter maintenant Nancy Norse et Mary-Claude Manga pour me rejoindre pour les annonces. Nancy et Mary-Claude sont les amis de la conseil et elles sont les gens qui doivent donner les annonces là. Des fois, c'est pas si facile à le faire, mais je leur invite pour me joindre ici pour donner des annonces.
Nice to be with you, everyone. I think Marie-Claude's going to begin with a few for us, and then I'll wrap things up.
Merci, Nancy. Bonsoir, mon nom est Marie-Claude Manga, amie de la Cour pour ce Conseil général 44. J'ai 2 annonces à faire pour vous. La première est de vous inviter à visiter la salle d'exposition qui a été organisée et arrangée pour vous. Il suffit d'aller sur la page principale et de cliquer sur Exposition et vous allez voir des informations intéressantes qui sont là. Et des fois, on vous demande de poser des questions si vous avez des questions sur des choses que vous voyez là-bas et vous êtes invité de le faire. Et deuxième annonce, depuis le 17 juin, le coup d'envoi officiel de la course Alvin Dixon a été donné. Vous êtes invité à courir ou à marcher dans votre communauté en choisissant votre propre distance et itinéraire. Et cela, vous pouvez le faire à tout moment d'ici le 25 juillet. Le but est vraiment de ramasser des fonds, de l'argent pour la bourse dont le nom est Alvin Dixon. Pourquoi ces fonds-là? Ces fonds-là, c'est pour soutenir les étudiants autochtones. Les étudiants autochtones qui sont en train d'étudier au niveau des secondaires et puis, en tout cas, secondaire et post-secondaire et dans les centres religieux et spirituels. Il y a quelque chose qui est... OK. Alors, comment est-ce que vous allez le faire? Comment vous vous organisez pour le faire? Plusieurs possibilités s'offrent à vous. Vous pouvez créer une équipe et organiser une course pour votre communauté de foi ou un autre groupe d'amis, par exemple. Vous pouvez courir, marcher seul ou avec un ami, ou simplement, si vous n'êtes pas adepte de la marche et de la course, ou bien si les conditions physiques ne vous permettent pas, vous pouvez aussi faire un don ou parrainer un groupe ou une personne de la communauté. Je vous remercie. Alors, je vais passer la parole à Nancy.
Thank you. My own congregation is looking forward to the Alvin Dixon run. We have some avid walkers and even a couple of runners that said, oh, I'll take pledges and do 1 lap of the block for every $25 pledged. So this should be fun to see what will be collected in support of Alvin Dixon. Mm-hmm. I would just like you now, as we wrap up our day and our weekend together, to just think back over these last 3 days. Our 2 sessions on Friday, it seems like a long time ago now. I've even been on an airplane this weekend, so it feels like a really long time ago. Think back to Friday, and then yesterday was Saturday, and now here we are on Sunday, and our lives have continued on in between these sessions. But to just take a moment and think back, what stood out for you this weekend? So I'll share some of the things that stood out for me, and maybe that'll spark memories for you. Like, for example, I loved seeing on screen all of your faces and swaying and voices and lips moving as we sang to the music. That was a highlight for me this weekend. I love the moment when Jenny Leslie was talking about equity versus equality and how it needs to be everyone at the table being nurtured and fed for what they need, that we don't all need the same exact thing. I love the analogy. Thank you for that, Jenny. I love watching how our leaders and our staff patiently answered tech question after tech question. You are awesome, you team, and how you do that so well. Thank you for that. Our chaplains making themselves available in different ways. Thank you, chaplains. I really appreciated all of the work Graham has done leading up to this event and helping get all of our faces and voices and languages in worship. Thank you for that. That was a highlight for me. The sharing of faith stories in my own discussion group, I so appreciated hearing people's stories. So I assume you heard those stories in your own groups in different ways. And those moments in our groups where maybe there was a bit of tension. How did you hold that tension together? Think of the moments of laughter when you laugh together in your group. I love all of your responses now of how you appreciated your group so much and the friends you've made. So I just hope that you will take all those memories and that you will hold those memories with gratitude, that you will lift those memories to God in thanks for this weekend, that we have been blessed to be on this journey together, and the journey continues, and we continue in our service to our United Church of Canada that we love so dearly. So hold those moments, give thanks for them, and peace be with you until we meet again.
Je voulais ajouter la patience de l'équipe technique. Ils sont tellement patients, c'est pas possible. Je les ai dérangés tout le long de la journée de vendredi, mais ils étaient toujours prêts à répondre. Et ce n'était pas seulement moi, il y a plusieurs qui ont eu le même problème pour avoir accès, mais ils étaient toujours là. En tout cas, merci beaucoup. Vous allez voir dans les chats, il y a beaucoup d'autres en tout cas, suggestions qui sont écrites là par Jennifer, par exemple, et puis il y a d'autres personnes qui ont écrit sur ce que nous pouvons éventuellement faire pour la fondation Alvin Dixon. Merci beaucoup pour votre patience.
Merci à tout le monde et je vais retourner la parole maintenant au modérateur pour nous terminer la session.
And thank you for those announcements, folks. Just to let you know, I am signed up for the Alvin Dixon Run, so please feel free to go over and find Ribbit's Run, and I will, or I should have called it Ribbit's Walk, or maybe just gentle movement. So please join in whatever way you can. That would be great. So we are now coming to the end of this session, and I would, again, just as we get ready to bring up the bring forward the motion, I would just simply like to thank you all for the blessing that you have been to me over this time. And I look forward to reading your words that you post in FeedLoop over the next little while, and again seeing you when we gather in July. So to all of you, to our invited guests who have been with us through these conversations, to Youth Forum, to the commissioners, and to everyone who has supported this work. Thank you for this gathering. Could we please bring up the motion that is going to be shared at this point, Shirley? Oh, Shirley doesn't have permission to share. Could we give Shirley permission to share, please? There we are. So we have our motion to adjourn. The General Secretary recommends that the 44th General Council adjourn until July 21st, 2022, at which time the Council will reconvene for the decision phase of the business process, que le 44e Conseil Général soit ajourné jusqu'au 21 juillet 2022, date à laquelle l'Assemblée se réunira de nouveau pour la phase décisionnelle du processus. This has been moved by the General Secretary, Michael Blair, and seconded by the the head of our planning committee, Susan Broderick, who is also a commissioner. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions at this time? If there are, please raise your virtual hand. I recognize Dong Chung-so. Could we please have their microphone open? Oh, I'm going to assume that, oh, there, Samuel. Could we please have Samuel's microphone open?
Oui, merci modérateur. Je parle au nom de quelques jeunes qui n'ont pas pu participer à nos dernières 3 journées et par anticipation, qui risquent de ne pas pouvoir participer d'office le jeudi et le vendredi. Alors, c'est un souci. Peut-être que c'est trop tard pour cette fois-ci, mais j'aimerais à l'avenir, parce que c'est des gens consciencieux qui voudraient bien participer, mais qui se trouvent automatiquement exclus parce que les moments choisis ne leur conviennent pas du tout et ne peuvent pas leur convenir.
So, to let you know, Samuel, it's my understanding that there were some youth forum members who were able to participate in this gathering. There are other youth forum members who are going to be participating. Did I understand the question? Yeah, okay. That there are other youth forum members who are going to be participating in a gathering that's coming up over the next week. And so all of the youth forum members will be able to participate in the July gathering. It simply was timing for all of the events that happened. So we were able to have some youth forum participation for this gathering. Does that answer the question that you had?
Non, pas tout à fait, parce que je parlais de délégués de plein droit qui étaient jeunes, mais ça va, j'accepte l'explication et je sais que ce n'est pas possible toujours de satisfaire tout le monde.
Thank you, Samuel. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was not listening to the interpretation at that point. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Not seeing any other questions. General Secretary, could you please bring the poll up? We're going to use the internal Zoom poll for this. And I would ask, please, only those of you who are commissioners who have the ability to vote on this poll. If you are prepared to adjourn as the motion called, please click yes. If you are not, please click no. The poll will remain open for another 15 seconds. I would invite you to close the poll, please. That motion carries. So, friends, go in peace, and we shall see you soon.
Avec une spiritualité profonde, soyez braves, bien-aimés. Par une vie de disciple courageuse, soyez bénis, bien-aimés. Par un engagement audacieux en faveur de la justice, soyez courageux, bien-aimés. Vous, les braves, vous êtes à Dieu. Vous, les courageux, vous êtes au Christ. Vous, les bénis, vous êtes à l'Esprit.